Hello and welcome to everybody. I welcome here everybody who has joined us live. It's probably a really nice weather all around. It looks like majority will join us through replay, which is also a great possibility. And I welcome also everybody who will watch us afterwards on the recording. So if you have found time right now to join us, it's great. I salute everybody who puts on their cameras, then I can see how we are doing, as this will be a practical session. We'll learn a very powerful technique, which will help you find some mental peace and mental clarity. But if you cannot switch on your camera, that's okay. I understand that maybe we're doing something else, busy with other activities, so that is completely okay. My name is Aigi Vahing, and today we will go a little bit deeper. We will learn a very simple but a very powerful tool that will help you to experience a real mental stillness. Even if you're in the middle of the chaos of everyday life. It's not a theory, it's something that you can experience practically and personally. It may shift something in you, something towards greater peace, but that will be experiential during the webinar. I have practiced this technique for many, many years. And I know a lot of people who it has helped also. To my knowledge, thousands of people. And what makes it really special is that it's completely portable. You don't need a separate practice time, or you don't need to like separate meditation time. You can use this technique in the midst of everyday activities at work, at home, walking, even in the movies, if you want to. And also what is good to know is these days we have so much pressure to be perfect. There is this movement where, you know, like you need to be super efficient, super perfect, do the self-development things all day, even during the night. You need to wake up at 5 a.m. and you need to be really like superhuman. But when reality is that most of us, or a lot of us, just try to make through the day being friendly with ourselves, being in a good relationship with ourselves, not procrastinating, not being too busy, being productive, having time for ourselves, our family. So this is what we're facing in everyday life. So the topic of this webinar is not to be perfect and not to have a perfect, quiet life. You just need a few tools and a few moments of awareness to get to experience this inner stillness. And this is an interactive session, so you can write to chat every time you need to ask something or share something. It's interactive, so I guide you to look inside yourself and find answers from inside of yourself. And of course, this session is recorded. You will definitely get the replay. And I have a gift for you at the end, so stay with me. Are you ready to begin? To find out more about how your mind works, why we think all the time, why we can't get any peace from it? Just drop me in a chat if you're ready to go on. You can also unmute yourself, use your voice. And meanwhile, Srinath, thank you. Great. So what can we say about our mind? From one hand, it's like a wonderful tool. We can use it for planning, we can use it for remembering things. And on the other hand, it can also become destructive. So today we're making the steps to start distinguishing when the mind is productive And then when the mind is not so productive, when it's more like, not maybe like an enemy, but more like a disturber. So let's take a look at our daily life. Look at your daily life and see if you have noticed already that you think way too much. Have you noticed how much you're thinking? Hi, Darlene. Thank you for writing in the chat. Finally, we meet, right? I can't see you, but it's so good to be in the same space with you. So look at your everyday life. Have you already realized how much you're thinking? And you're thinking even when there is nothing urgent. It's just thoughts go on and on and on. And sometimes we even start analyzing things, but not that we chose to analyze. This analysis just activates on its own. And we analyze random things. We analyze some past things. We analyze our future. We analyze the situations, what we are in. Sometimes we even analyze the other person while they are speaking. So see if that happens to you as well. Thank you, Darlene, that you already work along. Just pay attention how much this kind of self-talk or mental chatter you have in everyday life situations. Thank you, Kevin. Yes. So let's take even a step closer to more uncomfortable area. Look if your mind also evaluates you, others. Maybe it even judges yourself and others. I used to live in United States a long time ago, but I heard a term there. It's a very funny term, and pardon my language, but I heard that term about the mind. It was called itty bitty shitty committee. So it's this invisible tiny mechanism that knows everything about you, knows everything about other people, knows about your possibilities, even knows whether you can make it or not. And it has an opinion about everything. So look if you have that kind of committee inside of yourself as well. If you do, then just let me know. There is no committee, but there is a very big variety of opinions. So it seems like there is a panel. And Christine writes that the mind doesn't bother her so much anymore. So that is the path we're on today. Then also, I just want to clarify, I keep referring to our mind as it, when the truth for a lot of us maybe can be that our mind seems to be us. When we have thoughts in our head, they most oftenly speak like they represent ourselves. Do you know what is the most frequent word in everybody's mind? If you know the word, you can just drop it in the chat. What is the most frequent word we have in our mind? Yes, I am, I have, I want to, I will go, I won't go, I don't know, I forgot, and so on and on. So all the thoughts are so centered in our personality that it gives an impression that what we are thinking is representing us, that all those thoughts in our head, that is us. We mostly don't doubt in it at all, only occasionally when we have crazy thoughts. And we notice those crazy thoughts, like we notice that, oh my God, this is not what I'm thinking about that person, or oh my God, this is not, is this what I think about myself or my life? Then we kind of get startled and we wake up and we realize that we have crazy thoughts. But most of the day, we have no doubt that everything that's circling in our thoughts is true. It's just facts, it seems. Now, I bring in a really world-famous person from the past. It's an French philosopher, Descartes. There is a world-famous saying of his. This saying goes that I think, therefore I am. And it's really easy to misunderstand that saying. It seems like he's pointing towards mind being the most important foundation of our existence. It seems that this is the foundation, and it is the foundation of everybody's existence. I think, therefore I am. Thanks to the mind, I exist. But people who have researched Descartes have brought out that he meant something else. He meant that if I can witness my thoughts, if I can realize that I have thoughts, that I'm thinking, then that is enough proof that I'm not the thoughts. I am somebody who's witnessing these thoughts. I can see those thoughts, I can hear those thoughts. So these thoughts are not me. And it says this bigger truth about ourselves, that we can witness how our mind works, but it can't be us because we can witness it. It's part of us, sure, but we ourselves are way bigger than just the workings of our mind. I was in my 30s when I lived in Los Angeles. It's 20 years ago. And I was going through some really big changes in my life. And as you all know, changes are not easy. Mostly we don't want big changes, right? And my mind kept troubling me. And I started realizing that mind can also be a very dangerous tool. And that was the time when I first heard about awareness. I had not heard about awareness before. It has changed in 20 years now. Everybody talks about awareness, but 20 years ago, it was in certain books, maybe certain, circles. And I realized that awareness is beyond the mind. It is a bigger capacity that we have. And it's possible by using that capacity of awareness to become master of my mind, so that my mind becomes one of the tools that I have and not my master. Sometimes the mind is called a terrible master, and that happens mostly when like I was in the situation in my 30s, I just was not able to tackle this inner, very powerful, sometimes very suppressive, oppressive tool. Let's say it's tool that we all have. And well, when I realized it, it actually took me many years to find a technique that enables me to start, through awareness, to start mastering my mind. And today, of course, I've found it, and I'm very ready to share this with you as well. So what do we usually do to pacify this mind? See what you do. Do you meditate? Do we try to meditate? Sometimes it's even hard because the mind goes on and on. Maybe we try to think better thoughts, affirmative thoughts. Kevin, if you say that you should meditate, I salute all meditators. I have been a meditator for decades, but this technique, you can use it like this. You don't need to sit down. You don't need to go anywhere. You don't need to light candle. You don't need any of that. It's with you, inside you all the time. You can use it in every life situation. That's what attracted me to this. So we try to meditate. Maybe some are more successful. Some just sit down and think all the time, think and think and think. There's a Buddhist practitioner and writer, Tara Brach. I read her book way back, and she described a situation where she went to a meditation retreat, a silent retreat for 10 days, and mind had no food. There were no new topics. So she started thinking about that guy who was sitting next to her, meditating all those 10 days. And by the end of the retreat, they were already married in her head, and so on and on. So we try to meditate sometimes, but the mind doesn't care. Then walking helps, of course, temporarily, but it does help, sure. And Darlene is writing that, yeah, mind does not give up so easily. That we can agree on. So we try to think better thoughts, affirmative thoughts. Some of us try to think less or not think at all. How does that work? To see what we are up against, I'm bringing out some numbers. Did you know that we have a thought almost every second? So during the day, we can have up to 80,000 thoughts. Now, when you're looking your thinking material, what you think about during the day, are these 80,000 unique, different thoughts, or do you have repetitive thoughts? See if these are unique thoughts or you have repetitive thoughts. Repetitive, sure. And are most of them helpful or not? Right. Then a Harvard study shows that nearly half of the time, and that is very optimistic number, nearly half of the time, we are not mentally present. We're physically present, but we are lost in thought. So when somebody experiences concentration difficulties, it means that you're very concentrated just on different things, probably on your own mind's work. Then there was also a study about business students, and with business students, we tend to think that they are very positive thinking, outgoing. Everybody knows the power of positivity to get things done, to make something of yourself. And they also thought that they have mostly positive thoughts. But the study showed that 70% of them had 70% of their thoughts were negative without them knowing it. And what were they thinking about? Like all of us, self-doubt, comparing yourself with others, controlling thoughts. So, and final piece of numbers, almost 100%, meaning over 90% of what we worry about in our mind never happens. But imagine the energy we spend worrying and this being stuck in the loop of anxiety. So it's tremendous energy waste. So overthinking can also be tiring. Now, in addition to mind being a tool that works excessively and is not under our guidance oftenly, there is such thing as power of thought also. And the power of thought is maybe not so obvious, but let me give you one example. Let's say you have a child, or let's say you have 3 children. So 2 children you don't worry about them. They're outgoing, they manage, they do things, they have interests, they have friends. Maybe they're not perfect, who is, but you don't think about them. You don't worry about them. But then that third child is different. He's maybe not so outgoing, or she maybe more introverted, maybe doesn't have so many friends. Maybe she or he hasn't found their interests, or they are strange to you. You don't understand it. Do you worry about that child? Would you worry about that child if you're not a parent? You think about them, you worry about them. And what do you think? Does this thinking about them, worrying about them on certain topics, does that influence that child? What do you think? Does that power of those thoughts influence that child? Yes, Maria, yeah. So, and let's reverse it. Let's say that you are that child and your parent is thinking about you, worrying about you. I give you another example from my life. I used to travel frequently, short trips to Europe. So short ones, not so far. And every time I was on a trip, I felt a little bit like heavy, like slightly heavy, because I was already practicing awareness techniques, and my awareness and intuition had become more sensitive to all kinds of things. And I was not able to realize, what is that? And then I talked to my mom one day, and she told me that when I go abroad, she worries to death about me. She catastrophizes, she like seriously worries, and that was news to me. And then I was like, my God, I cannot tell her when I go to abroad. So as they were really short trips, I started telling her when I was back home that, oh yeah, I went to this country and that country. And this like heaviness that I was experiencing disappeared. So our thoughts have power, whether we acknowledge it or not, but there is a certain matter to them, a certain weight. And although a positive thinking is definitely better than negative thinking, uh, they can also drain us, tire us. Excessive fantasizing is excessive dreaming. So if we put on the table, we have negative thinking, worrying about somebody, for example, we have positive thinking. I will talk about that a little bit later. And then we have mental silence. What would be your preference as of now, when we haven't maybe technically experienced it in this session? See, what do you value? And we'll find out about what that silence is. About a few words about positive thinking. Yeah, like Claudia says, and let me see. Darlene, Kevin says, sleep time is when my mind goes. Exactly. I will talk about sleep time also. It's the zone where the mind gets really powerful. So let's talk about some kind of positive thinking. There's every kind of positive thinking, but let's say like fantasizing and dreaming or thinking big, or seeing your dreams getting fulfilled, and things like that. And when you do that, do you feel a little bit hungover afterwards? Can you feel a little bit of sadness, like, oh my God, I felt that I had all those things. I felt that I had it. It was so close. I was experiencing it. And when I stopped thinking, I realized I don't have any of those things. It creates this feeling of lack, or something is missing, something that seems you should have because you dreamt about it, and now you're without it. So this, let's say, thinking gone wild, thinking without our guidance, can create problems even when it's positive. Yeah, back to reality can feel like a cold shower. Yeah, two sides of the coin, exactly. So let's go a little bit deeper into this solution of having this inner calm. What benefits does it give us? This technique that we learned today, it gives you inner quiet instantly and also teaches you how to keep this inner quiet when you are in the middle of your everyday life and you don't need the services of your mind. What are the services of the mind? You can use your mind for verbalization, for writing, for planning, for fulfilling your projects. You know, it's a great tool. But when you don't need it, it's still in use, right? Let's look at some other tool of yours. Let's say your car or bicycle. When you're not using it, does it drive around your house on its own? On and on and on and on, wasting your oil or fuel, whatever you have in your car? Or it's in garage, still in garage or on driveway, waiting for you to need it. What does your car do? It doesn't drive around on its own, right? But our mind does. So this technique that we're about to learn, I have practiced it for about 10 years. And other techniques from this same method, practical consciousness. My reality used to be such that even when I noticed that I have negative thoughts or negative emotions, I was unable to do anything about them. Of course, you can go running, you can eat, you can do healthy, unhealthy things, but that doesn't lessen the amount of negativity that every one of us carries inside ourselves a little bit. So now, after 10 years of practice, I have learned to distinguish between these subtle inner processes in myself, and I have also taught these techniques for others for over 7 years now. And in Estonia, to more than 1,000 people, and these are my first sessions in English. So I'm glad you're with me when I started in this language. And the techniques and this method, practical consciousness, it originates from Estonian Siddha yoga master, Ingvar Villito. He has a spiritual name, Ishwarananda. He brought out these techniques and this knowledge from his own personal practice that has been decades long, and also from his practice of teaching those techniques to his students, to his yoga students who had same troubles as we do. Lack of concentration, disturbing emotions, and disturbing thoughts or mind processes. Now, in my previous webinar, and all who are participating today, I will send you also a link to that webinar. We dealt with emotions and we learned one really powerful technique, how to stop the influence of any emotion, any disturbing emotion that you may feel. But in this session, we delve into the works of the mind. Kevin, thank you for the comment. I really appreciate it. So let's journey a little bit in our mind matters. This mental chatter, it never stops, does it? It's constant. It goes on and on and on. Only sometimes when you meet something that stops your brain, as they say, frees your brain, you're like, oh, you don't have any thoughts. And you're like, I'm speechless. I don't know what to say because your mind has stopped. Because you're so astonished or shocked. You like wake up and you're in stillness. Otherwise, it's constant chatter. Then see if sometimes you like travel in your mind. These days, when we watch movies, we can travel by 10 seconds to the past or by 10 seconds to the future. I even know some people who watch the movies like 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds. So we can fast forward or we can rewind, we can go back. And does that happen in your mind as well? You travel, it's like mind travel or time travel. You travel to future, you travel to past. You travel to future and past. How much are we in the present? By statistics, not so much. Mostly either in the past or the present. So it's excessive, this overthinking. And also it pulls us out from reality. It pulls us into our virtual reality where we have all kinds of scenarios, stories, and we lose contact with the present moment. We're physically present, but our mind is somewhere else. And that is when we experience difficulties with focus because we're not here. We're not focusing on the matters present. We're somewhere else. Can you read a book? Let's say there's one book. Can you open it, read it, and not understand what you're reading? You read the same sentences, same paragraphs over and over and over again, and you still have not got it. Why does that happen? Who can tell me? Why does this thing happen? It happens when you're not with the text of the book, you're not concentrated on what you're reading, but you're in your thoughts. You're thinking about something else. Right, Ahmed, your eyes are reading and your mind is thinking about something entirely else. Mind is wandering, of course. So lack of presence comes with mind, with being entrapped into the processes of the mind. It can also create mental fatigue because we have way too many thoughts. Now, the quantity of thoughts can be problematic when you don't know how to create this inner stillness. When you know how to create inner quiet or inner stillness, the amount of thoughts does not matter anymore. Because it's like a car in a driveway, parked. It doesn't drive around on its own. And Kevin already mentioned it. We have difficulty sleeping because nighttime is the mind gets especially loud. That is like free for all for the mind. And we often lie awake thinking about some conversations we had, thinking about tomorrow's tasks. So it also creates difficulty for sleeping. And the mind, is it kind to you, your own mind? Let's leave others aside right now. To you, is your own mind always kind and nice? Do you sometimes think that you're not enough? Yeah. Oh, Diego, you're one lucky guy. If it's kind most of the times, you need to give a course, I'm telling you. You were raised differently. Yeah, judgmental, not kind by default, that is true. We can train it to be kinder. Aha, when you're rarely thinking about yourself, maybe these are not so obvious thoughts, but these are like thoughts that present like self-doubt or self-criticism, or a random thought comes to your head and you think that maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe it's not for me. Maybe I'm reaching too far. Maybe I cannot, surpass my shadow. And we get these feelings that we need to prove ourselves to somebody or compare ourselves with others. Sometimes mothers of small children feel inadequate. They don't know that every mother on earth has felt inadequate. It is like entrapment, like imprisonment. You can be really bothered by your mind. And one of more topics is this mental clutter. Mental clutter. What is mental clutter? It's hard to stop circling around the same idea or same worry. It's like this tsunami or some matter that fills your head. It's like landfill. There's no room, no space for anything else. It's like this thick, heavy, concrete topic and it's huge, and you cannot escape it, and it creates inner pressure, and you disconnect from clarity because you are in that thick fog. That is mental clutter. Sometimes we see somebody from the side and we're like, oh my God, we see that they're looping in their thinking. We're like, oh my God, they have dug a hole for themselves and now they're sitting in this hole and they can't get out. But when it happens to us, we mostly don't recognize it. It's like everybody can every now and then be in their little personal hell. Then it's really good to have a friend or another pair of eyes who can pull you out of that and tell you that, hey, that's nothing. Don't worry about it. It's nothing. Right. And then we also have these mental emotional loops. Like thoughts trigger some emotions, then we feel those emotions, then emotion triggers more thoughts. So we're looping like in mental emotional cycle. And sometimes it's really hard to get out of that cycle. So all these topics that we went through, have you recognized some of them in yourself as well? Maybe all of them? Well, the good news is that you don't need to fight with your thoughts like we sometimes try to do. We don't usually win. Thank you, Srinath and Kevin. And we don't need to force silence. That is also sometimes what we try to do. Instead, we will practice a method that will help to still our verbal thinking. That is that process, that self-talk that we do without loud voice, but inner voice in our head. But before we go to the technique, let's see, where is that verbal thinking coming from? Why do we even have it if it's so useless and disturbing? Now, when we look technically at what happens to us when we are born, and this is one of the things I like this method so much, is it's very technical. It's almost like engineer-like knowledge. It's how we technically experience ourselves in the world, inside of ourselves and in the world, in our life. So let's look at infants. Let's look at children when they are born. The infant comes to this world. They don't speak. Obviously, they don't think. They are present, they're aware, they're pure, they don't have reactions yet. In educational science or educational psychology says that infants need to be like 2 until 4 months until they start acquiring reactions, meaning psychological, emotional, mental reactions. Until then, they have only physical pains. They cry because their teeth are growing, or they have gas, but they don't have psychological processes yet. So what happens when everybody is waiting for the child to start speaking, right? But when they're born, they don't even make a sound. There's no sound, only maybe like la, 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 like something like this eventually. So they have no sounds, they have no words, they have no sentences, they have no stories. First, they learn the sounds. They start making some sounds. And then everybody waits when they are going to say their first word. It takes a lot of effort, but to the joy of everybody, they eventually say mom or daddy or something else. Then they learn more words. And what happens when children learn more words and they keep repeating them? Chair, 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 apple, 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 apple. After a while, the adults are not so happy anymore, and they ask the child to quiet down, to shh, no need to talk so much, no need to repeat those words. Yes, 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 we know you got it. So what does the child, what happens with the child then? What does happen with that verbal speech that they just learned where does that go? Does it disappear? They lose the ability, or it moves inside. The outer speech moves inside. And they name and repeat those things inside of their head. Or sometimes children decide that they don't want everybody to hear what they're saying or thinking, and they decide that they start saying those things or having those thoughts or conversations in their head. So it has happened to all of us. This speech that we, with so big effort, learned, now it's moved inside. Regular adults don't speak out everything that they think about. It would probably not even be legal to express all of it. But there are some people amongst us who walk around freely expressing everything what's going on in their head. And they are not considered like super citizens, let's say this way. So most adults keep it inside. And that is the inner noise. That is the self-talk. That is the mental chatter. And as we all do it, we must think that surely it must have some purpose. Surely it must have some purpose. From my practice, I can tell you that I have not found any purpose to it other than entertainment, occasional entertainment. I used to give a lot of interviews for work. So maybe because of that, I have this habit that all of a sudden I start giving an interview in my head. And when I realize it, I listen to it a little bit, then I enjoy it a little bit, and then I just realize it's silly. It's, as soon as I become aware of it, I actually stop it. So there's maybe that much of entertainment. So this mental chatter is speech that has moved inside, and we don't really need it. It's like an old thing that we can freely just let go. And how to do it? Now we learned the technique. We have several steps here. And I want to share a slide with you. I will leave it on the screen while we're going through the technique. Let me, one moment. Oh, no. Slide. So here it is. It's the technique of inner quiet. In our thinking, we have two components. We have images, mental images, and we have sounds. We have inner dialogue. So remember this beautiful place you went to, or maybe it was a nice resort, the beach, maybe some vacation center, maybe a nice forest, a park, somewhere where you went. Imagine some place that you have gone to that you really enjoyed, you liked it. And notice that you're looking around, you're really enjoying maybe the dinners, maybe the food, maybe you're enjoying the scenery, atmosphere, maybe the temperature. And if it's like perfect, 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 do you comment it also, this place in your mind? Do you comment it sometimes like, oh, I will definitely come back here, or next year we will definitely come back, or I want to stay here. Why can't I live here? So there's this inner dialogue that is accompanying our life experiences. Now, the key to inner quiet is that we only need to work with the inner dialogue. At this point, and with this technique, we don't need to work with inner images at all. And what is a key factor here is this tiny things in your throat area that are called vocal cords. Actually, it's not even vocal cords, it's the muscles that are connected to the vocal cords. And when we produce sound, we use those vocal cords. Even now when I'm speaking out loud and I put my hand here, all this place vibrates here. It moves. It's energized and it moves. And it produces sound. So what is curious is that when we think inside of our head, we also activate the vocal cords. When we talk to ourselves internally, the vocal cords are not so active. Like for me right now, I can feel them quite strongly. When we talk in silence in our head, they are still active, but not so strongly. So let's do this one exercise together. You can do it with your eyes open. You can do it with your eyes closed. It doesn't matter. And choose a phrase that's a few words long, like life is beautiful or I will manage. It doesn't matter what the phrase it is. And say it mentally. Repeat it inside of yourself. Don't say it out loud. Repeat it inside of yourself. And now repeat it more loudly, making no actual sound. Imagine that you are shouting that phrase in your mind loudly. While you're doing that, feel that you have some tension in your throat. Even though you've said nothing aloud, while shouting inside with a loud voice, feel that this area has some tension to it. So did you find out that even when you're speaking inside, your vocal cords still work? Now, since the inner dialogue and vocal cords are also connected, what happens is when we relax the vocal cords, it influences inner dialogue so that it stops. You have no verbal thoughts anymore. And what does this relaxing mean? We can consciously relax any part of our body. If you have gone to dance lessons, sometimes the instructor tells you relax your shoulders, or when you practice sports, when you practice yoga postures, asanas, relax everything. There's this final posture when you're lying on the ground. Now you get to relax all your body. So we already know how to relax different body parts. And now we just need to realize that we can apply that same intentional relaxation to our vocal cords as well. But before that, let's go through a sequence of relaxation activities so that you get real proof that it is your standard capability. So start first by tensing your forehead. Make your forehead really contracted, really stressed. And then relax your forehead. Relax your brows, relax your skin here, and feel it was easy to relax your forehead. Now, you can scrunch up your entire face, make like this, tense, contract your entire face. Hold it for 2 seconds only, no need to hold it more. Hold it crunched 2 seconds, and then relax it. Relax your face. Smooth relaxation. And last, tighten your fist, make a really strong fist. Hold for a couple of seconds. And now let go. Relax your hand, relax your fist. So let's do the inner quiet technique in the same exact way. Like it says on the slide, we still the verbal thinking by relaxing our vocal cords. And I will direct you through this technique. Let's do some pre-steps to get you in a really good space to be able to do this technique. And sit with a straight spine and observe your breathing. Observe that you're breathing. And find a bodily location to feel your breath. It can be a nose, chest, or stomach. And just be aware of that area for 20 seconds. Watch your breath as it goes in and out. And now relax the tension in your throat. Relax all the area of your throat. Relax it. Keep your vocal cords soft and relaxed. Relax your throat area. Hold your attention on that throat area. And keep all these areas soft, relaxed. And become aware that there is no inner dialogue. It may be a new experience for you. It may be something that you already know. In either case, continue to stay calm and keep your vocal cords relaxed. If you need to, relax them again. Keep all these areas soft, relaxed, not contracted, no tension. It's super soft. So this is that natural peace that is beneath all your thoughts and all your emotions. It's always there. You have always access to it. It never disappears. We just don't experience it always. The way to experience it is to quickly experience it. You don't need to do all the pre-steps that we did to get in a mode of that technique. You can just take your attention to throat area and just intentionally relax the throat area. Keep it soft, relaxed, and keep attention here where your throat is and keep it soft and relaxed. Making sure there is no tension here. Good time to use it is before you go to sleep. I would recommend it to use it right away, because when you start thinking, soon emotions are there and then it's impossible to fall asleep. So as soon as you lay your head on the pillow, I advise you to relax your vocal cords and keep them relaxed. You will fall asleep like a baby. Of course, you can use it before you want to meditate to get that stillness. But you can also make that exercise or meditation, even if you do it while waiting for somebody for 1 minute. It's great practice to do it for 1 minute when you have this spare time. And it's a good technique to use to prepare for deep focus work, important meetings, of course, and also to return to calm when you have stressful moments or periods. As soon as you achieve that inner stillness, you regain your objectivity and your clarity. You start seeing things clearly. Otherwise, they are cluttered by emotions and thoughts. You can take some extra time, special time every day when you practice it, but the goal is to make this habit is to make the skill a new habit. Maybe in the beginning, it doesn't seem like a big thing to have that inner quiet inside. And maybe it can even feel boring or empty. But once you start practicing it, you start discovering its benefits on your own. When I started practicing it, at first, I did it only just to practice it. It was a new technique. I learned it and I just wanted to practice it. But over the course of time, I started realizing what nonsense is to spend my valuable time, my days, in this mental clutter or mental noise. So now I do it this way, that as soon as I notice that some commotion is going on in my head, I instantly relax the vocal cords. If you have already a meditation practice and you're used to sitting, meditating for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, you can do that as well. But most people are so busy in our daily lives. We have children, we have jobs, we have projects, we have hobbies, spouses, parents, everything. So what I like about these practical consciousness techniques is that they don't really require a special time. You can do them whenever you're free. People with small children know that 45 seconds is a time. People who don't have 3 small children maybe don't consider that 45 seconds is a time slot. But people who are super busy know that 1 minute is a time slot that you can use for something like that. Let's do it one more time together. Let's do it one more time together. And when you do it as a separate practice, you can sit or lie down even in some quiet place. In the beginning, it's good to do it in a more quiet place. Later, you can do it in crowds and a meeting at work, in public transportation, everywhere. And close your eyes and just place your attention on your vocal cords. Take your own focus, take your own attention, and place it softly on your vocal cords. Take your vocal cords into your awareness, so to speak. And then just consciously relax the vocal cord area. Keep your attention there and continue relaxing and opening the area. And enjoy the experience of inner quiet. When the dialogue starts again, notice that your attention has slipped away from relaxing the vocal cords to your thoughts. So just return your attention to your vocal cords and relax them again. It makes no difference how many times you bring your attention back. Eventually, your attention, which is like a puppy, eventually it becomes trained. You can direct it more easily. It doesn't jump away all the time. And vocal cord tension can sneak in without you noticing it, without your awareness. So relaxing the area is important, even when it seems that you're quiet inside. Because there is one really harmful thing. It's like hidden inner dialogue. Sometimes the dialogue is so hidden, we can't hear it. There's no thoughts, no obvious thoughts. There's no topics. But it goes on and on and on. It still works, that inner dialogue, even when we don't hear it, are not in contact with its topics. And that hidden inner dialogue is usually a very powerful cause for stress and anxiety. The stress and anxiety that we feel, the dread, So what you can do is just train yourself to keep your vocal cords relaxed. That guarantees you that you don't have no inner dialogue bothering you. I give you some more tips for this technique. I think I want to also email them to you later, but let's go through them right now practically. If you don't feel tension in your vocal cords, then don't worry. Just relax the area around your throat or your Adam's apple, and the technique will work. So no need to start thinking that, oh my God, I don't feel any tension here. Just relax this area. If you want to get a reminder where your vocal cords are, you can use some sound like humming, like hmm, hmm, hmm. Do this sound if you can at your home. Like do a little bit of humming, like hmm, hmm. You can do with voice, and now do without voice. Or say without voice. Or say some vowel, like really high vowel in your mind without sound. And notice that this area vibrates a little bit. So you just need to relax this vibration here. It's subtle, but it's there. Now, you may feel resistance to this inner quiet technique, like we sometimes do when there's some techniques or inner work needs to be done. And you can experience skepticism or stubbornness or procrastination, things like that. And this is how you can overcome it. Just relax all the muscles of your body, your entire body, and acknowledge that you have that mental resistance. And be smart. Just tell yourself that you will try this technique once or twice, just to see how it goes. And then just try it and see what happens. Once you realize that you're fine, you're just calmer and more happier, then this kind of resistance will disappear. Now, there is one more exercise, and I'm thinking if I should do it. Let's do that also. Right now, we have gone through like a small series of exercises. The main technique is very simple. You just take your attention to your vocal cords, to this area. You relax all that area, keep that soft, and notice what happened to your thoughts. When the thoughts return, it means that attention has jumped through your thinking process. You bring it back. You keep your attention here and you keep this space relaxed and soft. Now, let me stop sharing the slide, then I can see the questions in the chat better. Yeah, let me stop the share for now and see if there are some questions that I have not seen. Thank you. Maria, so cool. Never noticed that. Felt it, Srinath. Does it mean to command the mind to relax the vocal cords? It means that we don't command the mind, but we, by intention, just relax it. You know, like make a fist and notice that you don't need to command the mind, you just relax it. It's like intentional. You just do it. Same with vocal cords. You take your attention here and you just relax this area and keep it relaxed. Let me know how it went for you. All over with this, that's good. almost like it's not about quieting the mind, it's learning how to control the mind or live alongside it. It's using your mind as a tool is what we need the mind for. And when the mind is disturbing us, then we can direct it. We can have a say in here. Usually we have no say. Whatever goes on in our mind, we are like obedient to it. There's nothing doing. But now, when you notice that your mind is working excessively for you, maybe you don't need to hear all those thoughts. Maybe you don't want this generator working all the time. You want to save some energy, for example. As soon as you notice it, knowing that the inner speech is also connected to your vocal cords, you just relax the throat area. You just relax the vocal cords and keep them relaxed. There is an additional, really good, I think. Thank you tonight. Definitely try this tonight when you go to bed. As soon as your head lays on your pillow, don't start thinking about topics and take your attention to your throat area and relax your vocal cords and keep them relaxed. It takes a little bit of training of the puppy because our attention wants to jump from vocal cords to mind because it's so exciting what's happening in the mind. Every second a new thought, who could resist that, right? So it wants to jump here, bring it back. It's like training the dog, training the puppy. You bring it back. It jumps away, you bring it back, and you keep the throat area relaxed. So there is one additional technique. I'm going to teach that as well. That is, let me see, that is for those cases when you don't find it so easy to concentrate on the vocal cords. So that exercise can make it easier for you. Sometimes, like Christina said, sometimes mind plays tricks. It's a super simple technique. You just take attention here, relax that area, and enjoy the quieted mind. But sometimes the mind plays tricks. It says it's not possible, or it's so hard, or I don't know how it was done. I don't know how to do it. And for those cases, when you're very busy in your head, having all kinds of thoughts, there is another approach. And let's do that also together. For that, also sit quietly. And in this case, definitely close your eyes. And find a part of your body where you can feel your breathing. Maybe it's nose, chest, stomach. And just observe your breath going in and out for a minute or two. Just observe your breath going in and out for a minute or two. If the internal dialogue starts, reduce this dialogue to these two words only. When you inhale, mentally say, inhale, and as you exhale, mentally say, exhale. If a thought or emotion comes up, return to noticing your breathing. This way, stay with your breath for a few minutes. And then do the inner quiet technique. You have already quieted yourself down a little bit. And in this state, now relax vocal cords. And the additional benefit is that if you watch your breathing for a few minutes a day, it will quickly improve your concentration ability. This thing takes practice, of course, because all lifetime we have been used to thinking inside. So this is part of the process. It's not an obstacle. Unfortunately, there is no shortcut. You just need to keep doing it. But you will get trained. This muscle will grow, and you will gradually have more and more inner stillness and clarity in your life. And it also may be intriguing to know that this silence that comes forth, that silence that appears, is none other than consciousness or awareness. Sometimes we hear those words and we don't know what they are. What is meant by consciousness? What is meant by awareness? Sure, they're phenomena. Sure, they're not thinking. There's something else. It's that silence that is behind your thoughts. So if you would be able to remain in that silence for good permanently, you can be called an enlightened person. Because you're in awareness. You're not in your mind. You're not in your emotions. You're in awareness, in this silence. And this awareness can be used dynamically. Maybe I'll do another webinar on this topic sometime, how to use this awareness dynamically. But to start, when you start practicing this technique and you get used to creating this inner stillness for you, you can start observing in awareness everything that you're in contact with, observing and distinguishing and understanding. That's how you start to use this silence, this awareness dynamically. It is calm, it is static, but it's usable. And it is the foundation of, how to say, innovative life. That's where all innovation comes. Doesn't matter if you're an innovator or you're a mom. These great ideas, great things appear in that silence. Insights, intuition, inspiration. That is the place they come to this silence. Now, would somebody like to share experience, how it was for you, this experience? Meanwhile, I share some experience from other practitioners. There's somebody who said that for the first time, I experienced true silence, no inner chaos, just presence. It was powerful. So that presence is something that we're mostly missing in our life. We're traveling between past and future. Somebody said that I used to mentally run around all the time. Now I can just be in the moment and the peace stays with me. Then someone else said that this was a game changer for me. I realized my thoughts don't have to rule me. And one more person shared that the more I practice silence, the more I feel like I'm truly in charge of my own life. Now, it may be really easy to underestimate this technique. Or did someone want to say something?
Yes, may I?
Yes, please, Diego.
No, actually, for me it was quite interesting because probably this is not the kind of advice that I will receive in my country. If you have to express it, something, just do it. You need to cry, you need to do, you need to scream, you need to see anything, just do it because that's like a way of like release these things that you have inside. But this remind me a funny situation because this technique like to say something but release it is like I am trying to say something but no release it. Uh, or maybe I misunderstood it.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. I understand. What you're saying is that in your culture, it's more like you're encouraged to express yourself and not hold
Huh?
things in yourself. And Estonian culture, you've lived here for some time, we
Ah,
people
yes.
are we're like, we keep everything inside.
Uh-huh.
And we're not so talkative. So the middle way is something in the middle, because
Mhm.
sometimes you really need to say things out loud. You really need to express them. And
Mhm.
sometimes it's really good, do not say those things.
Agree.
So the art form is to find balance, and
Uh-huh.
how to find balance, how to be able to express yourself when expression is needed, and maybe not express those things that you're thinking when nobody needs that.
Mm-hmm.
How to do that. And one great way for doing it is from that silence, believe it or not. It may seem unreasonable, it may seem absurd, because expression always goes hand in hand with emotions and thoughts. But imagine a situation, and let's go. I have some visualization exercise for you. Imagine this situation. Maybe it helps you a little bit. Did you want to say something else?
No, just what you were saying remind me of a situation that I had in the work a few weeks ago because I am learning Estonian and I was complaining about the bad words in Estonian because they feel like passive aggressive. They don't feel like really emotional words, bad words that you can say to someone to express how the inner emotion that you have about that person. So I was complaining about that. Why they sound like so passive to be bad words, I mean.
Yeah, it's not even passive, it's just dead cold.
I don't know, but in my feeling, I was like, I miss that emotion that is behind that word, that bad word, no matter how bad it is.
Oh, we get emotional. Have you seen us emotional?
No, I haven't seen it.
Really? You
Not
need
to,
to wake
at,
up.
at least not in that way, not yet. Even
Oh,
after
not
1 year.
really?
No, no, no.
Well, if you stick around for long enough, you might see it. When
No,
I'm
but that's something that I probably can see every day or every few weeks in my country.
Yeah, you need to do that. Just for explanation for others, Diego, you're from Argentina or
Colombia,
from where?
Colombia.
Colombia, even. Okay, Colombia. Well, Colombia. And then we have Estonia. It's the complete opposite, right?
Yeah, from the expression point of view, yes.
From the expression point of view, for sure. You know, when it was COVID, wait a little bit, go to the side topic right now, but when it's COVID time, there was a joke around when there was this 2 meters. And for Estonians, it was too close.
Oh my gosh, for me it was the worst time in my life.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
So back to 5 meters exactly.
No,
Ahmed,
no,
thank
no.
you for this
I
joke.
love hug everyone. Come on, we say hello and goodbye in my country with a kiss.
Oh yeah, we only kiss a few times during our lifetime. Well, that is a joke. Well, anyway, let me then describe a situation for you, what might help you with this dilemma. Um, so just imagine this, just do it as an exercise. Imagine that it doesn't mean that you're dispassionate. It doesn't mean that you don't have drive in life. It doesn't mean that you don't have enthusiasm or calling. But with all of that, what I mentioned, imagine that your mind is clear all the time. It's more about even clarity. Imagine that throughout your day, you have a clear mind, you have energy, and you go through your day without your thoughts pulling you to the present, to the past, to the future, away from here, into the world of thoughts. And imagine that there is space in your life, in your head, in your daily tasks. And notice that with this clarity, are you more present? And are you more adequate in different situations? And now let's do another little exercise, and maybe that will speak to Diego, I hope. When you're in this clear space of mind, what happens when strong emotions come? Let's say they're not positive. Let's say they're worry, anxiety, stressful fears, self-doubt. What happens to that stillness? And see if sometimes emotions when they come, can take you to a ride to hell. Can that happen when emotions activate strongly, negative ones? So in my 30s, I already told when I was living abroad, I noticed that I have these glimpses of clarity where everything is great and fine, and there's wellness and goodness. And then thoughts come, and then emotions come. And it's like vortex of reactions. So I started looking for a way how to discipline that part in myself. And as I was living in New York at that time, this is a city of everything. You can have everything. Everything is there. I realized that there must be a modern way of being able to deal with your own thoughts and emotions uh, in a way that doesn't require very grand, prolonged, sitting practice or things like that. And it took me some years. I eventually found it in my home country, Estonia, where I am right now. And there is another set of techniques for strong emotions or any kind of emotions when they come, including fears. They're very laconic and have as few steps as the quieting the mind technique had. And I shared one of those techniques in my previous webinar, and I will say the replay of that to everyone as well. But now just write down, if you can, on paper or maybe on your phone, some daily emotional feelings that you have that disturb your peace and disturb your wellness. And Diego, maybe for you, leave aside all the positive emotion, excitement, and vivaciousness, all that life in you, and choose those that you're not very comfortable with. That maybe, some hints to everybody, like when you wake up in the morning, are you happy, shiny, or you feel sometimes stress, anxiety? Or just you feel, I don't feel good. And
No,
when you take,
usually in the morning I feel sleepy and I don't think too much about anything.
okay, but as the day progresses, see if you sometimes have fury, rage, disappointments, sadness, envy, jealousy.
I have noticed that if I don't sleep properly, yes, sometimes I have this kind of thoughts, but in general I don't.
Okay, but Diego, if you make observations, now you can write them down for yourself.
Hmm.
So we can all take like this inner journey and check for ourselves how each
Okay, okay.
feels. Thank you. Then during the day, do you sometimes feel competitive with other people? Do you sometimes feel that you're less than the others? Or maybe you feel superior? Maybe you sometimes feel rushed. You feel this busy feeling. Or you sometimes feel you're incapable. Or you feel overwhelmed. And in the evening, do you feel that you need to relax? Maybe calm down some strong emotions with food or drink or surfing or movies. So, what to do with those emotions? Now, when we're talking about achieving inner stillness, if it's a topic for you or if it interests you, then we have like two main so-called enemies. One is the disturbing emotions that rob us from that inner stillness. And the other is the fact that our attention keeps moving around. It goes from emotions to thoughts, from thoughts to emotions, and it activates a lot of processes and can activate a lot of confusion for us. So, in order to master this inner stillness, it's also useful to learn what to do with the disturbing emotions and how to learn to direct your attention. It's part of the self-mastery process. Now, as for this technique that we learned today, I call you to try this technique every day. Then you become skillful and experienced in it. And just notice what happens when that inner voice quiets down. Even when it's not desirable for you, like maybe Diego explained, or alien, or doesn't seem to have benefits, just notice what shifts for you when you are in that space of silence, inner silence. And if these all topics somehow spoke to you, or you feel they're important in your life, or you have time in your life right now for this deeper journey with these practical consciousness techniques, and to learn other powerful techniques, what we have for emotions, there are 2 classes where we go deeper. And in these 2 classes, we learn to direct our attention, which is the sole key to mastering your inner world, because everything depends on your attention. Where is it? We learn to direct it. Then we also learn what to do on all 5 levels of yourself. And we learn to recognize these processes on physical level, emotional, mental level, also on consciousness or awareness level, and how that all affects you. And you'll have knowledge and skills about that, so that you won't just react to life situations, but you will be choosing with clarity and calm. And you get a sense of who you are beneath and behind all of those processes in you. Because we tend to identify with the body processes, with emotional, mental processes, even awareness. We can identify with it based on where it's at. So if this speaks to you, in 3 weeks, on May 3rd and 4th, I will conduct these 2 classes online. It's a 2.5-day course. You can participate online. You can participate in Estonia if you're presently here, or you can watch the whole course via replay. And after the course, to support your practice, so that all the techniques that you learn, you can start using them in your daily life, I will do 3 more free sessions online to help your practice, to make sure that you get to use everything that you learned. And I believe the details maybe are in the chat right now. I would like to reply now to all the questions that have to do with this technique, applying this technique, mastering it. So if you have any questions, you can write me in the chat. Aha, okay, Srinath, very good. For this habit development, like to do it every day before sleeping. So what I advise definitely is it needs a little bit of your personal will, a little bit of decision. When you go to bed, I know once we put the head on the pillow, it seems that now the party can begin. We start thinking about all the exciting things and not so exciting things. So the part of discipline that is required here is that you awarely know that you want to fall asleep right now. You don't want to spend 1 hour, 2 hours obsessing or thinking about things. I even knew one entrepreneur who was very successful, and I thought his life is wonderful. But then he confessed and said that when he goes to bed at night, he keeps thinking about work for hours and he doesn't get the full rest. He's overtired because he can't fall asleep. He has active emotions and active thoughts. So that's why it needs a little bit of decision and will. When you go to bed, you instantly apply this technique. Instantly. Because when you start thinking, the thoughts activate your active emotions. And because of that active emotional power, we cannot fall asleep even when we're tired. In order to avoid that activating, You can relax your vocal cords right away and awarely witness when you see that something is activating in your head. It means that your awareness, your attention has moved away from vocal cords, has moved to the thoughts in your head. Then just bring awareness back, bring attention back here and relax this area. And soon you'll start feeling how your body gets more tired, and soon you just switch off. You fall asleep. For when you have a little bit more practice with this technique, you can discover that even when you're anxious, even when you're already worked up, you can still, by using that technique, calm your processes down and still fall asleep. It may take a little bit of time when you're already worked up. Why is this happening? The calming down is when thoughts are not active and they are quiet. Your emotions don't get activated as well. So it's like in a way, that doesn't sound so attractive, but it's almost like a shutdown of your system, which is needed for going to bed at night. Better shut down than active all night, right? So I hope I answered, Srinath, I hope I answered your question. Then Kevin is saying, thank you for everything. Enjoyed the expertise and thank you. Yes, take care. Have a good night. And now, before you all leave, just tell me, what is the main thing that you took away from this session? What is the main thing that is important for you? And Diego, I really hope that you give it a try. You may surprise yourself. You don't need to do it all the time. You can
I am
only
surprised even now that this
good.
kind of advice kind of works.
Good. Thank you. Ahmed. Oh, I'm glad you got to reminded about this technique. Slow down, keep things simple, have fun. Thank you. Let me say if I wanted to have some final things to tell you. Although this technique is simple, it is quite simple. The transformative aspect of it joins when you make this practice regular, even if you do it just nightly. You don't need to do it, of course, all day long. And after this session, I will send you some resources to support your practice. You don't have to be alone in it. And there's no pressure. If you're interested in the upcoming classes, you can participate on your own time via replay. And just watch your inbox. After this webinar, I will send a replay and additional resources as well. Now, if you have any final thoughts, any final questions, I'm happy to reply. Darlene says she took away how to relax. I'm so tired now after the exercise, I can do it again each night. Yes, exercises sometimes can make us a little tired because we are using concentration to do it. And our daily life is not oriented in being concentrated nowadays. Our daily life is very hectic. So we are so used to having our attention in everything for a split second. We don't really read books anymore so much. We don't really delve deep into some matters. We're more like switching attention from thing to another thing, from information to something we watch or hear. So that is our usual mode these days. So concentration, even if it takes a few seconds, can make us sometimes tired. That is true. And Srinath says effect of inner noise on vocal cord. Thank you. And Tanka says, thank you for these clear instructions, simple and powerful. And thank you, Darlene. Thank you. Thank you, Claudia. Thank you for all your time that you spent with me. I hope it was a time invested. I hope you got something useful, this simple but powerful tool for your daily life, and use it whenever you need it. Don't forget it, and train it so it just becomes one of your tools, like speaking, riding a bicycle, walking, talking, and so on. You can also create this inner space inner silence within you whenever you need it. Thank you and have a good night.
Yeah.
Thank you.